Hello, curious people. Today I am going to be explaining DNA like I'm five. Not like I'm five. A 5-year-old probably couldn't explain what DNA is, but I will be explaining DNA to you like you are 5 years old, which you are not 5 years old. I hope not, because then you should be in school. No, never mind. Anyways, so let's start. What does DNA stand for? Also, I have to be quiet because my little siblings are asleep, so I'm trying not to wake them up. So, what does DNA stand for? Well, DNA stands for damp noodle application. I'm kidding. It doesn't. It doesn't stand for that. That's baloney. It, it was a joke. If you didn't laugh, I'm sorry. I'm not typically funny most of the times. So, you're probably like, okay, dude, get on. It's been a minute already. Yeah, it's been a minute. A minute went by that quick. That's crazy. So you're probably like, okay, shut up, stop rambling. What does DNA actually stand for? Well, I'm glad you asked twice. DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. I want to petition to have it renamed into dRNA, but that's kind of getting ahead of myself, so I'm just going to stop. And let's get back to the question. What does this mean? So, what is deoxyribonucleic acid? Well, let's break it down a bit. So, if we break it down, we have deoxyribose and we have nucleic acid. Now, what we want to focus on here is the term deoxyribose. And specifically in this term, we want to focus on the word deoxy. I guess you can say that deoxy is acting as a prefix here, I guess, maybe, I don't know. So what does deoxy mean? Well, lacking oxygen, D, lacking, or the lack of, and then oxygen. It's kind of straightforward. And so you might be wondering, okay, lacking oxygen from what? Well, hold that thought. Get it? Because he's holding his thought. He's literally holding his thought. Can you tell us what it is? I hope so. Otherwise, then it wouldn't be that funny. Anyways, hold that thought. First, we have to talk about nucleic acid. So, what is nucleic acid? If I'm being honest, I have absolutely no idea. Now, I know that is probably shocked you. You're like, wow, this guy is so smart. I'm kidding, guys. I'm not smart. You're probably just like, okay, how are you going to explain to me what DNA is and you don't know what nucleic acid is? Well, you don't really need to know what it is to understand what DNA is. So the fact that both of us don't know is okay. And if you do know, can you please explain it to me? Because I want to actually know what it is. But basically all you need to understand about nucleic acid is that it gives us these two things. Deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA, and this thing called ribonucleic acid, which is called RNA, which is why I want DNA to be renamed dRNA, because the RNA and ribonucleic acid is this, the R, the nucleic, the N in nucleic, and then the A in acid. But if we add deoxy in front of it, then that's DRNA. But when they say DNA, they skip over the R. They just go DNA, which makes no sense. I mean, I guess it's simpler. I asked my biology teacher about it, and he just said, they're probably just being lazy. I don't know, is there I hope there's an actual explanation for it. I tried searching it up, and I didn't get a good answer. So, if you know why it's DNA instead of dRNA, can you please explain it to me? Because I'm really having a hard time figuring out why. Okay, enough with the rant. So, back to what I was talking about here. Nucleic acid. So why is this important? Well, because it gives us deoxyribonucleic acid and ribonucleic acid, or DNA and RNA. So now, I'm about to open up this door, and behind the door is something really scary. So I'm gonna, nope, not that guy. No. The different kind of monster. It's really scary. So I'm gonna need you to prepare yourself for a jump scare, okay? 3, 2, 1. Just through the paper. Whoa, scary. Look, a big molecule. Okay, don't get scared or intimidated. Don't let this guy intimidate you. This is DNA broken down, basically. So, don't remember any of this. You don't have to, unless you want to. Then do what you want. I'm not gonna stop you. But, just remember this one thing. At this location, at this carbon location, the 2' carbon location, for DNA, there's only a hydrogen. If we go down here to RNA, at the 2' carbon location, there is a hydroxide. A hydroxide. Now, if you zoom out, you can see that these two things are literally exactly the same, except for this one part. Okay, I think you get the picture. So, this is why DNA is called deoxyribonucleic acid. It's nucleic acid because it comes from the same thing as RNA. But it's deoxy because it's lacking an oxygen at the 2' carbon location where RNA has an oxygen. And that's where the deoxy comes from. So now let's flip to the back, and we're going to flip back to the back, or the front. Anyways, so we're talking about DNA. Let's see what we got so far. We have the deoxy, check. It's because that is missing an oxygen at the 2' carbon location. We got that down. Nucleic acid, we don't really know what that is, but check, RNA and DNA. That's all we need to know. So, where does the ribose come from? The ribose is just a sugar. Ribonucleic acid, the name of the sugar is ribose, and deoxyribonucleic acid, the name of the sugar is deoxyribose. And that's going to take us back to the front page, and I'm just going to break this down. This big pentagon thing in the middle, this is the sugar. This is deoxyribose. Over here, connected to the 5' carbon, is a phosphorus. I'm going to call it a phosphorus group. And over here is something we call a nitrogenous base, which I am not getting into right now because it's not too much to get into, but let's leave it alone. And in RNA, we have the sugar. Ribose. Is that the name of the sugar? Yes. That is the name of the sugar. Yeah. The sugar ribose. We have our phosphorus group, and then we'll have our nitrogenous base. And as you can see, they are pretty much exactly the same. Now some priming for next time. Nitrogenous bases are important. The 3' carbon location is also important. And the 5' phosphate location, the phosphorus the hydroxide on top of the phosphorus is also important. So just keep that, keep this, and keep these in mind. Oh, and this, of course, because it's literally what separates DNA from RNA. Besides another thing that has to do with the nitrogenous bases, but again, getting ahead of myself. So, anyways, that pretty much explains DNA, like year 5. And yeah, that's really it. In the next video, I'll talk about RNA and DNA and their differences, I guess. I don't know, guys. I have an exam to study for, so, yeah. Have a good rest of your day, and be safe.